I made this animation for a client completely inside of DaVinci Resolve, and I will show you how you can do it too, even as a complete beginner. But now let's open DaVinci and let's get started. Okay, so now that we are inside of DaVinci, the first thing I'm going to do just show you the whole thing again one more time before I actually get into explaining how to make it step by step and how I did it for my clients. So let's just play it.
The only difference between them and creators who are still stuck posting.
So this is exactly what you should be able to make after finishing this tutorial, and to get started I will just open this Fusion composition where it's pretty much the whole thing. And I will explain it the same way as I did it when I was actually building it from scratch. So the first thing I made was this background you can see. So I will open it in this second viewer. So I have it separately here. You can see when I scrap through that it's moving. And the base of this is just this black background. It's just a solid black color and nothing else. Over this I have fast noise, and I just played around a bit with the settings of detail, contrast, brightness, scale, and increase the seed rate a bit to make it move. Here if I open the fast noise you can see what I was actually doing here. This is the fast noise, and to make it red I just change it from the default one to this red hex code and edit soft glow to make it look a bit better. Now before I move on to the next steps, I just want to quickly explain this 3D workflow because I made this in 3D. Here is each part and it's attached to image plane 3D. Each of these is attached to the merge 3D to basically combine it all together. I can open this merge 3D in the other viewer so you can see it. Here you have the camera, this is the merge 3D, and here it's all the items combined together from the image planes. Here is the camera which I used to animate it, and to be able to actually view it and export it, I attached the merge 3D into render 3D, and now it's all attached into this merge back into the whole thing so we can actually view it in 2D as a normal video. And now back to how I made this figure. You can see in the middle. So this section is for the figure design and animation of the eyes. Here we have, if we open it in the first viewer, this is like the body, the half circle, and here I just have background set to gradient and linear. Here it's just a red color and here it's just a bit darker, and I move this around so I have the darker part below and the lighter one here to make it look nice like this. And to make this white edge, you can see here I did this using bitmaps. So from this ellipse and the background I attached it to the first bitmap, which is just a regular node, no changes made to that, and I attached that as a mask to another bitmap. And the only change I made here was I changed the paint mode from what is there defaultly to multiply, and I moved it a bit on this X and Y axis. I can also show you what it does. If I move this, you can see like that the white part is moving. So I just played around with it for a bit to make it look nice like this and make it look like there is some kind of light falling on that or something similar, and just make it look more plastic and alive, which adds significantly to the design and just makes it look better. Then this is the head part, and I did exactly the same thing as for this one. Only difference is that it's a bit smaller and the whole thing is visible. There is pretty much no other changes made to that. And then what we have here, these two eyes. This is for the left one, is basically just a white background with an ellipse attached as a mask and soft glow and drop shadow, but nothing else. These are pretty much just regular shapes. And then what I did here, I connected it all together to this one background where I decreased the alpha to 0 and connected it to this merge 7, so I can animate both of these eyes together and I don't have to animate each separately. And if you take a look at the first keyframe, it starts here when I wanted it to make look like that the figure was looking into left, so I just set the keyframe and slowly animated the x-axis so it looks like the figure is looking to the left side, and then when it changes the direction to the right side, just animate it again the x-axis to make it look like it's looking into the right side. And that's pretty much what I did for the animation of the eyes. What we have here next are the texts. You can see the one at the top and the two on the left and right side. This is the one in the middle or at the top. and it's just a regular animated text, nothing more to it pretty much, it's just a regular text. So I won't spend too much time on this. It's the same thing for this text, the one that's then on the left, and this text that's on the right. And these two things are if I move it at the start, I think you can see it well here, these not equal signs, and I added these just because it makes sense in context of the video if I would play it with the audio, and also just to improve the design a bit. I just thought it looked good, so I added it. And lastly, how I animated this movement, like the movement of the whole scene. So this initial one where it like zooms through that figure, I will open the Merge 3D in the left viewer so you can see it better. I animated all of this using the 3D camera. You can see it in the transform here, and if you look at this, it's like at the initial position, even like through the figure, so we can see it now, but I animated it to start moving back, and you can see that it like slowly reveals as the camera moves back. So all I did here was just animated the Z-axis to move backwards, and then for the animations to the side, here I did to start it off really fast one, where on one frame it just jumps closely, and then it slowly continues the movement to the left side to reveal the text them, and then I just animated the X-axis on the 3D camera to show the text on the right side. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing I added here was grain and vignette over the whole thing to add again a bit more depth and just make it look a bit better. But that's pretty much everything I did here. So now that we are done with the animation, let's take a look at the whole thing one more time. This is exactly the type of animation you should now be able to make yourself for your future client projects. Honestly, once you break animations like this into smaller sections, they become much easier to make than they first appear. And that's true for pretty much any animation or video you see online, not just this project. So that's everything for this video. If you found this useful, subscribe so you don't miss the next tutorial like this one. And if you also want to learn more about editing, getting clients, and just overall growing as an editor, check out my newsletter in the description. Bye.